Not many people get a check just for the act of living and breathing, but there's at least one place where that's the case. Scott Thuman takes us there.
With its mountain ranges, glaciers, and wilderness, Alaska is rightly known as the last frontier. Bigger than Texas, California, and Montana combined, but with a population of just 725,000. Living here, especially in the winter, can be tough and expensive, with so much having to be shipped in. Though at least there's a financial benefit that comes from being a resident. The state of Alaska actually pays its people. Except for felons, every resident, from newborns to seniors, gets a check each fall. This year's $1,114. Here in Kotzebue, a small native community inside the Arctic Circle, folks like Frank and Esther Davidovics, sitting retired outside their small fish camp, tell us it is a lifeline.
It just makes lots of people happy. I mean, they buy food for their kids and pay rent and everything.
But you need it, right? I mean, living here is expensive.
Look at the prices. Look at the gallon of milk. It's expensive.
Calling life here expensive is an understatement. At the local supermarket, the prices are eye-watering. Bread at $8.99. For a quarter gallon of milk, $4.99. And a simple can of soup, 3 times what you'd pay in the lower 48 states. Here, grocery bills can easily be 50% higher than the national average, and utilities even more, says Sonny Hadley, out for errands on his ATV.
I'd fill up my fuel tank and I'll be okay for all the way till February, March.
So you need that money to heat the house?
Yeah, I use it, and my daughter puts part of her dividend into the house also. You know, it helps out a lot.
So where does all that cash come from? In a word, oil. Significant reserves were first identified in the 1950s, and by the early 70s, the state treasury was taking in millions, prompting lawmakers to create a savings account funded by oil to preserve Alaska's wealth. As of late this year, the so-called permanent fund was worth more than $80 billion. And since 1982, yearly dividend checks have been sent to residents. You've got large companies from around the world that come in here and get their hands on this oil. So do you think it's only fair that you all get a cut of that?
Yeah, it's fair, It's nice because, you know, we own that land, Alaska, you know, and everything, and they get the royalties and give everybody a chunk of it, which is nice.
Another way Alaska, beyond those beautiful views, continues to stand out. For Full Measure, I'm Scott Thuman in Kotzebue.
One note, a recent downturn in fortune for America's oil industry, with oil production now on the decline, has some Alaska politicians insisting it's time for big changes, including adding an income tax.